Alec, how's it going?
It's going. It's going strong, going fine. Just fine.
So we've wrapped up season one of Epic Rap Battle of History, and we want to kind of talk about the season overall. I think this is a good, at least personally, I feel like this is a good habit to get into. Like breaking down, even when we go into like shows in the future, this would be a cool thing to do too. Talk
Like
about
season
season,
recaps basically. Yeah.
yeah, because it puts a lot of things in perspective. Because a lot of times when you go through stuff, it all kind of blends together, and you don't get a chance to really break it down.
Yeah.
But season one of Epic Rap Battles of History, what are your impressions overall?
You can only go up from here.
Yeah,
There's definitely part of it was like I think I found some of the stuff a little bit more fun or funny when I was probably a freshman when most of them were coming out. I look back on
yeah,
some of the stuff that I've liked even when I was a freshman, and I was like, I don't see
yeah,
that's as funny anymore. More often than not, that happened with stuff in college that I look back that I thought was funny in high school, and then I cringed because I was like, this isn't funny. This is
yeah,
horrible. This probably falls into one of those gray areas where I think some of it is I can understand why I found a lot of it funny because some of it I do still find enjoyable and funny, but um, well, a lot of it was new to me, and I can see why.
I definitely say yeah. I've made no secret about it. This is by far the worst season of Epic Rap Battle. It's not even close.
Yeah,
And like, I'm not gonna guarantee there won't be ones that you won't like moving forward. For sure,
oh
there's
sure,
always
oh
gonna
sure,
be duds, but
yeah,
there's a certain level of a certain expectancy that is raised going into later seasons. It's like you're at
yeah,
least gonna have a great quality video. You're at least gonna have some great references. And with the season one, that was definitely not a guarantee with everyone. So it's like they're finding their footing for sure.
hmm
And then when they move into season two, where it's on its own channel, I think they start to take it a little more seriously. And it's not far after season one. Let me see. So the last episode of season one is November 18th, and the first one of season two is December 8th of 2011, the same year. So it's just a
So
month.
it's literally a month. Yeah,
But for some reason, I think they really stepped it up because just looking at the list of them now, I'm like, yeah, there are a couple that aren't as good, but it's like definitely much better
cool.
quality. So I don't know what it was that they figured out, but they did. But so it's season one. We had John Lennon versus Bill O'Reilly, Darth Vader versus Hitler, Abe
Yeah.
Lincoln versus Chuck Norris, Sarah Palin versus Lady Gaga,
Ugh,
Hulk Hulk Hogan and Macho Man versus Kim Jong Il.
that was interesting.
Yeah, Justin Bieber versus Beethoven,
Uh,
Einstein versus Stephen Hawking,
uh,
Genghis Khan versus Easter Bunny,
uh,
Napoleon versus Napoleon,
uh,
Billy Mays versus Ben Franklin,
uh,
Gandalf versus Dumbledore,
uh,
Dr. Seuss versus Shakespeare,
yeah, I actually like that one a lot. Yeah,
Mr. T versus Mr. Rogers,
sure.
Columbus versus Captain Kirk,
That was
and
that was
Nice
okay.
Peter versus Epic Lloyd. The final battle. So overall, some of your favorites? Are there any that stick out to you?
Definitely Dr. Seuss, the Dr. Seuss versus Shakespeare one. I like that one was yeah. I feel like that one like was pulled from I think we discussed that one probably the longest. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it pulled a little less like the less obvious stuff. I mean, it was still pretty broad, but it was good interplay, good fight, battling there. The Billy Mays one, just because of ShamWow guy shows up in that one. Like that right there is that's the one that I remembered the most from Days Gone
Yeah.
By. Like because it was I just remember it being really funny. Um, because it was like, oh no, Billy Mays like died, and then they had him actually like, die in the thing, and then ShamWow guy, whatever his name I can't remember. That one definitely sticks out. I don't remember.
Oh, Vince Offer.
Yeah, Vince. I don't really much of the rest of the ones we were saying them. I was having kind of like not really much of a reaction to.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um,
a lot of them are like okay, or
yeah,
they're fun, but not a lot of
not
depth.
like yeah. And
Um,
then there's like the really stinkers like Sarah Palin and Lady Gaga, which is like
okay, that stands out. Okay, some of your
that's
least
horrible.
favorites: Sarah Palin versus Lady Gaga.
Oh, that was I yeah, no, that one. I think I
For
had the same expression on my face the whole episode where it was just kind of like
for
um
me, Hulk Hogan and Macho Man versus Kim Jong Il. I really don't like that one either. Especially he's talking
I
about.
actually had forgotten that happened until you mentioned it again. That's why I kind of have a like, oh yeah, that's right, that happened. Yeah.
Especially when he's talking about Sonic the Hedgehog's. He looks like Sonic the Hedgehog's mother. I don't like that.
You
Genghis Khan versus Easter Bunny is like it's harmless, but doesn't really do much. You know.
that one's one of my there was nothing there's like nothing there. It's just like because they're both prolific, I guess, or something.
They
I don't.
both reproduce
Yeah.
rapidly. Gandalf versus Dumbledore is rough.
Yeah, I didn't like that one either.
A lot
Yeah.
of these are like really a product of their time.
Yeah.
2010 to 2011 is when all of these were.
Yeah.
So that's like a lot of that time on the internet is so cringy looking back on it.
It is, yeah. It's kind of like I look back to old episodes of this is like completely off topic, but like old episodes of The Completionist. I love The Completionist. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. Those older episodes I like for their I actually recently watched all of them before he took some of the older ones off the channel.
Yeah,
And
they're rough. Really.
and they're rough. I like bits and pieces of them, but they're a product of their
I
time.
don't know what was up at that time period. We thought some weird things were
Yeah,
funny.
comedy was strange. It was in a strange place on the
Strange
internet.
place.
Yeah. Now memes
And
took over.
I mean, Darth Vader versus Hitler is the most prolific
It's
rap
the most
battle ever.
iconic.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Like
like if you look at substance wise, there's not too much there. It's fun
yeah.
still, but they just
That one's notable just because it's like yeah, it's the one that everybody saw. I know I saw it. I kind of like that one. Yeah, it's fun, but
is
it's
there any
alright.
particular portrayal that stands out? It's like they did really well as this character, because I mean, they get better and better in later seasons of like getting a spot on great person to play it, and a lot of 90% of these people were played by Nice Peter and Epic Lloyd. They had a couple switch in there, but
The Einstein Hawking one, I seem to remember that one being okay too. I'm trying to
oh
remember
yeah,
think of portrayals.
Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers
Yeah, the
is fun,
Mr. Rogers portrayal was actually pretty good. Yeah.
and Mr. T is good too. Easter Bunny, I love I love the
What
Easter
an
Bunny.
name a more iconic epic rap battle character.
Ooh, the Easter Bunny, baby. I deserve to be arrogant. What about Stephen Hawking with the auto
I'll,
tune?
yeah, that was good. However, all I can hear in my ear, and I want it to go away, is the person who did that horrible Sarah Palin impersonation. That's all I can think about when you mention performances. So I guess that's memorable,
Yike, yeah.
right?
I mean, Sarah Palin does have a grating voice in general, so
Yeah,
the portrayals of Hitler and Darth Vader are fun, which is why it stands out
fun and over the
too.
top.
Justin Bieber is one of the worst for me.
The portrayals,
Justin Bieber,
just Justin Bieber in
yeah,
general. Oh, that is a really bad one because that one is like almost the most product of its time out of all of these.
yeah, 2011, right there, early 2011, where
Yeah,
it was just like
it's just like
everyone was on this bandwagon of hating Justin Bieber, and it's like, oh, you're gay if you like. That's the worst part about that time period.
oh yeah, that was great. Good times, right?
Gay. You're
Look back
gay.
on
Yeah.
look back on that fondly.
Yeah, how old was I when this came out? 2010.
I was 19
I was 14.
when you man, you were this close to being able to say when I was 13, I had my first love.
Like 14 is that was the time when it was like what, middle school.
Yeah, this
Middle
is early high
school.
school. Early high school, probably.
Really? Wow.
Maybe I don't know. 14. You're probably in like eighth grade, ninth grade.
Yeah, eighth grade. That's when it was like, kids were so cringy back then. This is not a fun time to be a child. They played off of that a lot, especially like Gandalf, Dumbledore. You have like the flamboyant gay person, and it's like that's like a dig at someone. Is like, uh, come out of the closet, you know?
I mean, you can do goofy camp right, but
Right.
this is the internet we're talking about. There's not very much sophistication there when it comes to it is what it is, a product of its time.
Okay, so overall, my favorite rap battle would be.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's
Shoot,
yours? You know, you want to say Genghis Khan versus the Easter Bunny.
I do. I think it would probably be Einstein versus Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, that's my number two. I think behind
It's
the
up there.
what did I say earlier?
It's
I'm losing my
behind,
mind.
behind, of course, the Dr.
Oh,
Seuss.
Dr. Seuss
Yes.
and yeah, the Dr. Seuss and Shakespeare one. Those two were the highlights for me. I like those ones a lot.
Yeah,
But
for me, that's not even one of my favorite rap battles in general. So that's a testament how much they improve.
mm.
So, and least favorite overall for me might be Hulk Hogan and Macho Man versus Kim Jong Il. It's so rough.
uh,
And what was did you say your definitive least favorite is that Sarah Palin?
I think it's the Sarah Palin one, man. I
Yeah,
can't deal
yeah.
with that. Like I said,
Between
it
those two
hurts.
for me.
That's hurting my head. Yeah, I mean that one's pretty weak. That the Hulk Hogan one. Like I said, I forgot it even was a thing until you brought it up again. I was like, wait, what? That one happened?
Yeah. So moving forward, we got great stuff ahead, I gotta tell you. And
Yeah.
it's gonna be wonderful.
Well, I'm looking forward to it.
All right,
Upwards and
so
onwards.
we'll see you there and check back next week for the first episode of season 2. And
Sweet.
there it is.